morning and welcome to the J Chronicles. I am Kelly J. So today is the first ever writer's rant, and for today's episode I just wanted to talk about people and relationships and equality. So I say that being because people believe that relationships are only dating or romantic relationships. You have relationships with every single person that you come into contact with. And so when I bring up the question of equality, it's because as people and human beings, we all the time are going over and talking about like, okay, I don't want to put in so much effort and not get any effort out of someone else. So it is a consistent struggle between how much effort do you need to put into somebody else so that way it's equivalent and fair to you and you don't feel like you're being used in the relationship. So the first kind of relationship I'd like to talk about are friends, because it's the basic, most general kind of friendship or relationship that you have. So friendships, of course, you start friendships from the time you're like a kid, when you have that first real friend. And as a kid, really all the requirements of a friend are don't have any other friends other than me. Come to my house and let me know, that you want me to come out and play, and that's it. And as an adult, they're not much different. What you want from your friend is that same come to my house and tell me when you want to play thing. You want that initiative, that you have a friend that's going to talk to you or call you, someone that misses you and honestly cares about you. And I think the way we set ourselves up as people to kind of fall into this and be disappointed is we don't let the people know when we start testing them. We'll be like, okay, I'm not going to text that girl for 2 days and I'm going to see if she texts me first. So you don't text her for 2 days, but you didn't realize because you weren't talking to her for those 2 days how busy she was, and that she was thinking about you, but she just didn't have the time to reach out. So now you're assuming that person's a bad friend, and maybe you're just bad at timing. But at the same time, we do want to give breaks and allow people to make mistakes and have excuses that are valid, but you don't want to feel like you're wasting your time. I think that you get a certain wholesome feeling when you're wasting your time versus when it's being valued. So if you notice you're complaining more than complimenting about this person, and that's any person in your life, then they're a negative person. Cut them out. If you consistently, every time you say someone's name, it's like, huh? Right after it, then why are you even dealing with that person anymore? And no matter what the benefits are, obviously you're not seeing any benefits. As of recently, if all you're talking about are just all the bad things that you can think of them. And this plays into relationships as a whole as well. So real quick, we'll go off the deep end and we'll talk about what I feel is equal in a relationship. You ready for this? So it is 2018 and I feel like relationships are supposed to be split. I don't believe in a certain ratio for a relationship. So no, I don't believe that you could do 50-50, because not all of life is 50-50. Sure, you can split the bills 50-50. You can split every time you go on a date 50-50. But if you're really going to be in a relationship with somebody, sometimes you need to give 80-20 or 60-40. Sometimes it's not only money, but emotions. So what are you going to do if you're in a relationship and your significant other loses their job? You're still going to have a house, still going to need a car. Still, somebody has to pay for that. That's where that 80-20 comes in, because if it goes on the flip side where you get let off for a week with no pay, then they're going to be there to cover you while you didn't have it. And that to me is what the equality of any relationship, but especially romantic relationship, comes into play. I see on social media all the time people talking about like, oh, men are supposed to pay all the bills, they're supposed to be providers. How I feel about that is that we provide for ourselves as human beings, no matter male, female, or otherwise, because I don't believe your gender determines how your life is supposed to play out. I know, take a second, let that sink in. Anyways, so I think that as, women especially, it is nice to have somebody come and do something for you. I love having my nails done. My nails aren't done right now, don't look at them. But I love having them done, but I'm gonna have them done whether I'm single, in a relationship, or married. It don't really matter. I'm gonna make sure I have the money to get my stuff done. So I don't see why once I get into a relationship it's their problem. You pay for it, you do it. No, I'll still do it. You keep doing your own stuff. Because imagine if it was reversed. If they came to you like, oh man, I look rough, well babe, I can't get a haircut till you pay for it. Like, what is that? Like, no, you're supposed to take care of yourself in whatever aspect you feel that is. I don't wear makeup, so I'm not going to consider that as being a part of taking care of myself, that I don't wear makeup unless my man buys makeup for me. Like, no, because that's not who I am. And him buying it or not is not going to change me wearing it or not. I think there's just certain things that we have as humans that we have to have responsibility and individuality to ourselves. We have to be held accountable at a certain standard of level. So you can't tell your significant other what they have to do for you. Really, if your significant other loves and cares for you, you should be worried about, are they supporting you emotionally? How about that? You had that feeling recently? You wonder if they're gonna get your hair done. What about if they gonna hold you when you crying? Like, you have people out here in relationships with people who don't even care about them, people who don't know their last name, who've never met their mama and been together or been in the picture for years. And that's all because it comes into the play that you're just not as important, right? It's just like, it's the level of significance that comes into a relationship. It goes right back to what I was saying about friendships, because relationships are human interaction. You getting here? So you want to know your significant other loves and cares for you. A lot of people mistake being significant to someone as monetary value. So if someone loves me, they'll pay for this. If someone loves me, they'll get me this. Or if my man really cares about me, he does this, that, and other thing. That doesn't mean that he cares about you because he buys you shoes and watches and no. Money doesn't show that you care. It shows you have money. And someone needs to realize that. If you care about money, sure, that could be a sign of significance. But for me, I would rather somebody buy me something cheap and small but sentimental than something huge and luxurious but I didn't even realize that I wanted. You know, I wouldn't be upset if someone bought me a helicopter. What? That'd be crazy. I'd be so absolutely amazed. But obviously, you don't know anything about me because I don't know how to fly and I have a fear of heights. So does that really show you that they care about me, or that they care or have the means to have money? And so I think that's what we need to judge things and base things off of. If you're in a relationship where you feel that your level of love and standard is monetary, then you need to go home and collect and re-correct yourself. Because if you don't have the money to support the things that you're asking somebody else to support, then it's probably not that motherfucking important, to be honest. And excuse my language, but it's probably not. And you need to really sit down and tell you and ask yourself, is it that important? You need to know yourself. What is important to you? So instead of complaining about, I didn't get the newest pairs of shoes, how about you sit down and know what you really want from your partner and then go and talk and tell them about it. Oh, because that's a whole nother video, honey. I ain't getting in on communication right here. We're just going to touch on it. So pretty much my final note is going to be, love yourself and find someone who loves you. Don't find someone who's going to spend money on you. Find someone who's going to spend time on you. A relationship in any sense, friendship, family, romantically, is all about your investment. So how much is that person putting into you, and is it worth it to match it? So like I said, sometimes, you know, it's going to flux. You're not always going to be up on the stock market, but you're not going to crash forever either. If you continuously crash, pull out. I don't know, maybe I'm too deep with the metaphors. Hopefully you got the understanding of it. It's been Kelly J, Writer's Note #1.